I don't know that we're all necessarily taking notice of what's happening at Colorado appropriately. Okay? Colorado is 5-2. They are 1 win away from bowl eligibility. They only have one conference loss now. Now, they do not control their college football playoff destiny. However, I wouldn't count out the Big 12 to be a little bit squirrely and have something unpredictable happen, because it's been that way. Now, they need BYU to lose. They need Iowa State to lose. They need Kansas State to also lose, because as of right now, they do not hold that tiebreaker with them. But I think it deserves some attention when we discuss what Colorado is right now. We'll do that throughout this segment. However, really quickly, want to make sure y'all know, the hard count brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. We have a square in this segment that we really like. All right, we've been hot for the majority of this season. You want to follow? Phenomenal. You want to fade? Even better. But again, code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups gets you $50 in promo funds. So use that code, and then also make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Now, look at what Colorado has left on the schedule here. Preseason and what it is in season right now, very, very different stories. Cincinnati, we already said we think they should roll there. You got to go to Texas Tech. Y'all, that's the toughest game left on the schedule for my money. Utah, they look very different than what we thought they would be going into the season. And some of that's injury. Some of that's just the way they've shown up throughout the course of their schedule to this point. But like Utah does not look like the wagon that we thought they would be. Got to go to Kansas. Kansas, I can't put a finger on who Kansas is right now. And maybe they're a little bit spunky because you get them on the road. But like, I don't know. Kansas is a game that you would think you should win. Oklahoma State, same deal. Going into the year, we kept saying, so experienced, Mike Gundy football team, they're gritty, Ollie Gordon. Like, Oklahoma State's got 4 losses right now. I would venture to say that Colorado should be favored in the majority of those football games they have left. And here's the thing, too. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's nothing fluky about what Colorado is doing right now on the football field. Like, I think a lot of people see the success they're having, and they revert back to what happened last year, and they say, oh, okay, well, hey, they started hot last year too. They went 3-0, and then they sort of found a way to fall apart down the stretch. If this team were going to fall apart, it would have happened already. It would have happened post-Nebraska, actually, if we're just going to be transparent here. That would have been the spot. However, the way this team has continued to battle and, quite frankly, continued to get better each and every week, this is a different football team than last year. One, because they went and got different players, and that's the obvious part of it. But just in terms of, I think, the internal focus, we can get a good gauge for what they are because of what they've done. What I mean by that is you look at the UCF game, and they wax UCF on the road, and you're like, okay, hey, is UCF kind of fraudulent? Is Colorado actually maybe kind of like that? Like, we'll see. Have the bye week, and then Kansas State comes to play you. And Kansas State now, I think, is a really good football team. Kansas State may end up being that team that wins the Big 12. We'll see. But Kansas State comes to your place, and you battle back and forth. End up losing that game by 3 points. And we said it afterwards, like, hey, if Travis Hunter stays healthy, Colorado might win that football game. Okay, now, again, woulda, shoulda, coulda. You don't want to deal too much on hypotheticals. But that game showed me a lot, because that was an opportunity now, I think, for Colorado after they beat UCF, after the bye week, to say, okay, cool, we stabilized who we are. We feel good about ourselves. We're going to go ahead and be content. Being content gets you beat. I did not see a content football team lose to Kansas State. I saw a team that was battling, that went 4 quarters, and that the game went how it went. And Colorado drew the short end of the stick. But even in a loss, I think that told us a lot about who Colorado is. And then we had the Arizona game on deck for Colorado. That was the spot where we're like, okay, hey, this is a different team now. This is not the same team that rolled out there last year. They drug Arizona. They're going to drag Cincinnati. And to me, it's not just, we said this on our reaction after they took care of business against Arizona. I'll say it again right now, though. It's not just how it looks, because it does look different. They're rushing the passer. They have more balance. They have been what they are in the pass game, which is, one of the best vertical units in America. But it's even more so the way that Colorado looks in responding to success. Like, when Colorado wins football games, last year it was like, it felt like they won the national championship when they beat TCU. That was kind of the response from social media, and I understand now. When Deion Sanders got there was a 1-win operation. And last year it felt very much so like every single win, it was jubilation, it was celebration, and it wasn't just like winning and feeling good about the fact that you won. It was like wow, I can't believe we won. I don't see any of that this year from Colorado. I see a team that rolls out there and expects to win the football game. I see a team that once they are winning the football game, they're like, okay, good. Check that box, on to the next one. And so, again, I think they roll Cincinnati. And when we talk about what year 2 is for Deion Sanders, I know a lot of people want to, once they have success, start to project and talk about what they could be. Like, we said it going into the year. If they make a bowl game, that is success. They're one win away from doing that. They will make a bowl game. Okay? That's what's going to happen this year. And Deion Sanders, before he got there was a one-win operation. Now, of course, everybody has their opinions on Deion Sanders and the way that he operates when it comes to how he recruits and this and that. And I've made that very, very clear. But you cannot argue with what you're seeing on the field right now. And I'm not going to do that at all. So with what they have at quarterback, with their receiving core, with the way that they are, I believe, internally focused right now, you look at that schedule, man, and I'm just saying, do they need some help? Sure. Is the Big 12 wild, though? Absolutely. Colorado will make a bowl game, and I'm very curious to see how they factor in here down the stretch because, again, that's actually a good football team. Colorado is a good football team. Nothing fluky, nothing that is happening that shouldn't happen for them. Like, Colorado is getting it done, checking the box, and I think that we all need to be aligned on that when we talk about Deion Sanders here going forward. So the square that I like for this weekend here, I always like the Travis Hunter receiving yards on the more there just because he's been a walking more for the duration of the season. However, a little dinged up, so I'm not going to touch that. However, the square I like, though, Will Shepherd, longest reception they got for him right now on PrizePicks.com, 25.5. I like that. I mentioned already what Cincinnati is, and when it comes to defending the pass, they're allowing 8 yards a pass. I think Will Shepherd gets a nice little vertical drop in the bucket from Shedeur Sanders, and I think he ends up hitting the more there. So go ahead and use the more there. Code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups, gets you $50 in promo funds at PrizePicks.com. Again, code HARDCOUNT. Even if we don't win, we expect that to happen. We expect to win, but even if it doesn't, $50 in promo funds, and we'll get it rolling there.